Brought to you by Pediatric Dental Group of Colorado, creating positive and rewarding dental visits for kids of all ages since 1977.
And Shelley has a question for you today, Dr. Eggerichs. So go ahead, Shelley.
Hi, Dr. Eggerichs. Hey, you were talking about your little baby boy, our little baby boys. Well, mine is 15, almost 6 feet tall, and 190 pounds. And I was wondering how I can help him with these skills, and I have daughters too, and they need the skills as well, so they can translate this into their marriages when they get older.
Well, and that's an excellent question. In fact, that's almost the first question that's always asked by women, because they love their sons. They adore. But they notice he's different from age 12 to now 16 or 17. And the little boy that used to sit on the lap is no longer there, and she's struggling with how to connect. And it is applicable, this respect talk. And this is why it's so powerful and exciting. That little boy has a man inside him, just as a little girl has a woman inside of her. We know that no father should come across in an unloving, harsh, angry way toward his daughter. She's going to deflate. That's predictable. And we coach men on this because the culture of intimacy is more pink. We have the last 40 years shifted. The little boys are really someone that needs to be more like a little girl, and I take issue with that.
So do I.
And so there is a challenge here to then figure out how to open him up, and it's what we call respect talk. And respect talk means using words that mean something to him. Women want to express love and hear love. It's in your soul. It comes out of you. Love you, love you, love you, love you. Bye, Mom. Love you. Bye, Dad. Love you, brother. Love you, sister. Love, 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 love. Your 16-year-old, 17-year-old son is now beginning to be motivated by issues of honor. He could go off to Iraq and die. He'd throw himself on a hand grenade for honor issues. And so when a mother is communicating, she's got to step back. Is this conversation I'm having with him, or monologue, is this appearing to him as a put-down, as disrespectful, as dishonoring him? Yes, you're trying to motivate him to be more loving and sensitive, but you cannot motivate another person by being disrespectful. Disrespect does not motivate a man to be loving any more than a man withholding love motivates a woman to be respectful. You cannot be negative to motivate somebody to be positive. So what you need to look for are things about him that you can say, you know what I really respect about you? You know, you are an honorable young man. Or, I really like you and who I see you becoming. I want to salute you today for what you did. These are terms that I encourage women to use, and watch the response in his male spirit. And it happens with a 6-year-old boy, too. There's something instinctive in that little boy. And when you honor that, he comes up and out. It's amazing. And people are saying to me, why hasn't anybody told us this? In fact, I'm writing a book on the family right now because these principles are so simple and they work. Now, these are principles. They're not promises. We all have bad hair days.
Sure.
But I can tell you that family crazy cycle also exists. Without love, a child reacts without respect, and without respect, the parent reacts without love, and it gets crazy.
Yeah.
And then you have an overlay when their gender begins to evidence itself. Mothers are in complete confusion as to why their 16-year-old boy is not responding to them, because it becomes complicated in one sense, and yet very easy to diffuse in another.
And I love that you brought that up, because I do have a son, and I've certainly applied this to my relationship with my husband, but not to my son. That's profound to me that you're explaining to the problems that I might have in that relationship are related to this, and I love that explanation. What about girls? I think it's a confusing time for them, and you've got about two and a half minutes left to talk about that. What about girls? I think really one reason that girls are getting more showy and so on is because they want men's love. And the other thing I want to say is I agree with you about the pink culture thing. There was an academic movement at one point that made men feel bad for being men, and it demachoized them, and it explained that women should be just as strong as men. And I'm certainly not putting down women being treated in an equal fashion, but we took away manhood. So how do you explain to a confused girl at this point who lives in that culture and who also wants to show off her body? What do you say to her about how she should approach her relationship?
Well, I think broadly we say to men, get in tune to your feminine side, but we don't tell women to get in tune to their masculine side. So the bias there is evidenced in that phraseology. But I think, again, there are men out there who are selfish and immature. I mean, who's more ready for a relationship, a 19-year-old female or a 19-year-old male? I mean, we know. But in terms of if Al-Qaeda attacked us, the 19-year-old male is a fighting specimen. We all have our strengths and our vulnerabilities. But the challenge for young women is to step back. Certainly don't get in a relationship with a man who is just totally selfish. At the same time, we need to interpret. When a man feels disrespected or dishonored, he'll close off. He'll shut down. He'll withdraw. That's actually the honorable thing. When one man is in a fight with another man emotionally, and they're best of buddies, they'll say, drop it, forget it, and they'll separate because we're lethal. We can hurt each other physically.
Yeah.
So we do the honorable thing in the area of, in relationship with a woman by just withdrawing when we feel that there is nothing but contempt coming at us. And, of course, she's feeling insecure and unloved. She tries to do the loving thing by confronting to connect, not confronting to control. But through the blue grid, he's feeling like, whoa, I didn't try to be unloving in the first place. You're coming at me disrespectfully. You're telling me I'm not loving, and I'm feeling even more disrespected. I'm feeling provoked here. I better withdraw. And then as I walk off, you tell me I'm even more unloving when I was trying to do the honorable thing.
Right. And Dr. Eggerichs, I do have to stop you there. Would you mind briefly telling people how they order your book? Because you're just fascinating, and I'm sure people need to get a hold of your book. So would you tell people how they get a hold of you?
My website is loveandrespect.com, all spelled out, LOVEANDRESPECT.com.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for being with us today, Doctor.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.